Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So you would have seen the video I've done. Hopefully you've seen the other video before you've come over here to watch this video. This is the Seashell and Starfish die set. This is the Cyber Week launch, which creates, I think I've shown you, let me just quickly grab those bits and I'll show you what I've made. So I have created a seashell gift box, starfish gift box, and I've also made a starfish bag. So today we are going to be making the seashell bag. Hopefully you've seen the video for this one, but I did go through the dies and things. So today I'm not going through the dies. I'm just going to crack on and get this bag made. This is going to be quite a lengthy make, because I'm using mirror card, which is an absolute nightmare to stick anything on top of, but you know me, I like a challenge. I'm going to apologize in advance, as the nights are drawing in. I'm only using one daylight light because it's still light outside. However, it's going to start getting dark as I start filming, so I do apologize for any shadows. I'll try and keep my hands as low as possible to avoid shadows. So today I am going to be making this into a handbag. I've already done one side of it, but we're going to be putting the other side. So there's two parts to this bag, so we're going to put the other side together today. So I'm going to move these dies out of the way, and then I'm going to quickly show you what I've made already. So this is the seashell bag that I've already made. I've only done one part of it. We're going to put the other part together, which is exactly the same process, so there's nothing different about how I've done this. I may try something different, but let's see as we get on. I've got a couple of fingerprints on there because it's mirror card. I'll wipe that down later. And the only other thing I've done is I've had to, in order to get this piece done, I've had to add the hinge in, which we will join to the second portion of this bag. We'll do the strap as well. I have added a magnet. But in order not to lose this one, I've kind of left it stuck on there, which is what I'm planning to do for the time being. So let's crack on and get this made. So for this then, now the instructions do say that you need to cut out 4 of these pieces, but I would recommend that you cut out 3, 2 to go underneath and 1 to go on top, or 1 to go underneath and 2 to go on top. See how you feel, but hopefully as I'm making this it will make a bit more sense. So for this then I have got 3 pieces cut out, but in total you will need 6, and this is using the medium, the second die down and the third die down, in order to create this aperture. You then need to cut the die. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. So you do need to cut out 3. I've cut out 3, but you can get away with just using 2. You don't need a third one, but you do need that's reflecting too much as well. So you do need 2 of these pieces, but I've cut out 3. One's obviously mirror card, one's in 280 GSM cardstock, and it is good to use thicker cardstock for this, and one's in 216 GSM. And then I've cut my patterned panel out in a cardstock I got from the Works, I believe it was. And I have used this pattern paper from this collection for the memory box that we had for birthday week. So those are those pieces. So for the handbag strap, you do need in total, to cut out 12 of these, you need 6 per handle for the handbag. I've already put one part together. We'll put the other part together. You need to cut out 4 of these pieces, 2 for each side of the bag. You need to cut out 8 of these pieces, 4 for each side of the bag. And then you need to cut out 6 of this piece here. And again, you need 3 for each side of the bag. Now, I mentioned in the previous video, but I'll mention it again. On this particular panel, there is a little deboss on here, which shows you which bag or, you know, which project these panels go with. So this one's got a little seashell on it, and the heart one, sorry, not heart, the star one has a little star on it. So that's a good indication of how to find what you need. Now, with my decorative panels, I've already curved these, but what I will advise is if you do end up using mirror card, make sure you give your mirror card a really good curve, but also make sure you curve the patterned paper that you put on top. Now, there is a die for the gold panel, but there isn't a die for the decorative panel that I've added. I've just measured it up against the gold panels for each 3 sizes. That's the other size. So, and I've just basically just decorated it. But obviously that's up to you if you want to do that. You will need a hinge. There is a decorative element as well for the closure. You need to cut out 4 of these pieces. And then the gold piece is the decoration element. You need to cut 2 of those out. So I think that's everything. I'm going to go ahead and make a start. As mentioned, I have already curved my panels. What I will say to you is make sure you use a precision tool to curve your panel, but don't burnish these semicircle tabs, because you don't want a strong, I don't know how else to describe it other than you don't want a prominent fold line, because it does have an impact on the semicircle tabs. You know, if you have no issue with it, then go ahead and burnish those. But for this particular project, I'm not burnishing those semicircle tabs. I've literally just gone in and pressed those tabs down like that. I have, however, made sure that I've burnished these glue tabs here. That is important. Okay, so we are going to make a start. So the first thing we need to do is bring in the thicker piece of card. Now, my advice is start with the largest panel here. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I want you to be able to start from this angle here, which I believe is probably the easiest to start with. Don't put glue on that first tab and work in one direction. So I'm left-handed. I'm going to put my glue tabs to the left as I'm working, so it will almost feel like I'm working to the left. If you feel you want to do it from the right, then flip it, start from the right, whichever way works for you. But I'm going to start this side. Now I'm going to put glue on each of these semicircle tabs, but I'm going to leave that end one here. Hopefully it will all make sense when we get to the very end, but there is a reason for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply glue to all those semicircle tabs, and I am starting from this corner here. So I'm going to push my cardstock, that's the side that's got the glue tab. I'm going to start from that end. I'm pushing that all the way in so that there is no gap, and I'm going to hold that while the glue grabs. You need to be very patient with this make as well, because there are a lot of semicircle tabs, and the last thing I would want is you wasting cardstock. So avoid it where possible. So let me just do that again. Just going to hold that in place, let that glue grab. It's really important, those corners, it butts up right to that edge. And then once you've done that, work your way around. Now, as mentioned, that last glue semicircle tab doesn't have glue on. It's because when I come eventually around, I'm going to have a glue tab which I need to tuck in. Okay. And if there is a slight overlap on cardstock, I would rather it was on the bottom of here than around any of these curved panels. Okay, so that's my first panel glued on. Hopefully that's glued down nicely. Perfect, that's great. So I am going to then apply glue to this tab here. I'm going to bring in my medium panel, and I'm going to join those two panels up. Make sure you wait, let that glue grab. And then go ahead and apply glue to your semicircle tabs here. And then again, you're going to bring this around. Make sure the point here meets the point here, and then just press all that down. You do, like I said, you do need to be patient with your glue. And because you're working on curves, it's going to try and bounce back, so you do need to just make sure you're holding that as much as you can. Make sure this also doesn't accidentally come off. So that looks good to me. I'm then going to apply glue to the next tab here. Then you're going to apply 3 smaller ones. So if I just bring in one of my smaller panels, again, I'm just going to go ahead and add that onto there, wipe away any excess glue. Make sure it's all nice and level, and just press that down. And I'm just going to go ahead, and once I've done this one, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the rest of it. So again, you're just going to work your way around, make sure that corner gets in and meets that point there. Make sure you're pushing from the outside as well here where the base is, and from the inside just make sure you're holding that panel down, and with your finger just make sure you're pressing against those tabs there, and hopefully that's glued down now as well. So as you can see, it's slowly starting to take shape. So I am going to, hopefully you've seen me do 3 of those panels. I'm going to do those 2 and then I'll come back and I'll slow down this process, this part here. So I've added those 2 panels on, and I'm just going to make sure I press that down. So now I'm going to go back to, these were the smaller panels, now I'm going to go back to one of the medium panels. So again, I'm applying glue, and then I'm going to attach this piece. So just going round that curve there, and again I'm pressing it down. And then I'm just making sure that panel is stuck down well as well. That just pinged off again, so I'm just gonna be patient and just hold that down. There we go. And then now we just need to do our longer panel. So for this, again, I'm just applying glue to that panel there, that glue tab. Just going to attach my longer panel now, and just wait for that glue to grab. That's now grabbed, and then I'm just going to go ahead and apply glue to those semicircle tabs. There we go. And then I am just working my way round and getting to that next point. So again, make sure, is my battery low? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna press that down. I'm just going to be patient and just work around that curve. I'm very sorry for the shadows, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think we are getting there. So here, obviously, where I've got that tab there, we're going to bring in one of the medium-sized panels. I'm going to apply glue onto here, attach the next panel, and again, I'm going to be very patient. Press all that down. One thing I would say as well is on the instructions, I did notice it says to use red liner tape. Now, I am somebody that doesn't use red liner tape very often, not for projects like this, because if wet glue, I mean, obviously we're taking the time to do this. If wet glue is going to stand the test of time, red liner tape isn't. Where there are temperature changes throughout the year, there is a likely possibility of these panels pinging off, and we don't want that. So hopefully now I'm just gonna just work my way around that curve there, and hopefully we've got a flatter side now as well, so that's handy. But just make sure you hold everything down. And what you'll notice is with this panel here, I haven't actually burnished that score line where that tab is, because that's just coming around and we don't need to do anything with that one. So again, I'm pressing all that down, pushing it from the outside in, and hopefully that should have secured. So then with the last medium panel, if you can remember, we didn't apply glue to that one there. So I am going to, with this panel, I'm going to fold that, and I'm going to give that a good burnish. And then what I'm going to do is apply glue to that tab, and I'm going to join this one up to this one here. So like that. I absolutely love, I didn't say, so I'm using, this is navy card, it's out of my own stash. This is teal blue 216 GSM, and I'm using patterned cardstock. I've just noticed a couple of these tabs where the glue's come off, so I'm just gonna apply glue to those tabs there. And I'm gonna just quickly press those down as well. And you will have that with some of your tabs. They are going to start to come loose because there is a lot of pressure on these semicircle tabs to obviously go against what it naturally wants to do, what the cardstock naturally wants to do. So again, we've got another one here. So again, just going to apply glue and press that one down. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and apply glue to that tab where I didn't put any glue on, that one there, and then I'm going to put glue on the rest of these tabs here. Now, as you would have seen, I haven't put any glue on this tab yet because I don't know how much this panel is going to override, if you like. So I'm just going to hold that down for a second. I need to make sure that one grabs well. And then I'm going to work my way around, holding the rest of those tabs down. Pushing from the outside in, and then just pressing those tabs down. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's too much of an overlap, but again, where there is an overlap, you just need to make sure you take the glue up to where it needs to go. And that's why we've done this make the way we have. We started from here so that if there is going to be an overlap, you'd rather have the overlap on a flat part rather than on any of these curves, because I think it would have been an absolute nightmare if it was on a curve. So hopefully you've kind of understood how I've done this. Okay, so now this is the part where obviously we have done the difficult part. Now we come to the next complex part, which is putting the aperture in. So that you don't get harsh lines, and again, this is totally up to you. You don't have to do it the way I'm suggesting it. You know, you might have your own way of doing things, and that's totally fine. We have to all be comfortable with what we're doing. I find it easier to start from the flat part, or from a corner here. Sorry, not the flat part, from this corner here, because then you know it's going to be perfect all the way around. So what I would advise is when you get to these rounder parts here, you might want to get a pair of snips, and again, it's totally up to you, and give your semicircle a snip. Now I'm going to just do it because I think it will be beneficial. I don't want that line to feel harsh. So I'm just going to go ahead and put slits in all those panels there. So on the 3 semicircle ones, I'm putting 1 in the middle, and on the 4 semicircle ones, I'm putting the 2 in the middle. Hopefully that's made some sense to you. Okay, let's put these snips away. So pull all your tabs out, and then we're going to start on this corner part here. Don't worry too much if it starts to look messy and you get glue everywhere. That doesn't matter, because we're going to be covering all this up anyway, because we're going to have another layer and then another layer. But just make sure take your time to allow the first 2 tabs to grab. So I'm allowing my 2 to stick down. And with your nail, go in to that angle. Just go in and hold your nail there and then massage these tabs into place like so. You can do a few at a time, you can do 3 or 4 at a time, totally up to you. I'm going to do a few at a time. So again, I'm just holding that tab. And I'll show you what I mean about the ones that I've split. Because I realised when I put the shell gift box together that some of these, they don't curve nicely. And by putting the split in, you can overlap it so it actually curves nicely. And hopefully that's going to make sense in a second. So again, as you can see, I've got glue here. I'm not worrying about that. That doesn't matter to me. So this is the one that I've split. So I'm going to put that first one down. Massage that one down. And then I'm going to allow the second one to overlap and find its position, whichever way it falls. So it might overlap slightly, but that's okay. That's what I want it to do, so we don't get a strong defined line or an unnatural curve. So as you can see, that's what I mean. It comes out neater. So then I'm going to go ahead and apply glue to the rest of these. I'll do a couple more and then I'll speed up the rest, because I think now you kind of know what I mean about going around these curves. So again, pushing my nail into that curve there and massaging that semicircle tab down. Again, don't worry about the mess, because that's all going to get covered. So just holding that one down. And then we come to, oh no, we're not at the split one yet. Again, just holding that down. This is the one with the split semicircle tab. So I'm pressing the first one down. And then I'm going to let the second one overlap. I hope you're all enjoying Cyber Week. I think Tonic have done it again, as always. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue on this one here and that one there. Again, I'm pushing it in with my nail, and then after this one I'm going to speed up the rest. So we've finally got there in the end. Don't worry about all the messy glue and stuff. All that is going to get covered in a second. Just going to roll some of this glue off my nails, because it's an absolute bugger when it goes on nail polish. Honestly, it is. I'm sure you all know. Okay, so that's what this looks like now. I am going to go ahead and apply this piece on just to cover up some of my workings. There we go. So that's now done. Now the next bit is, let's just apply some glue onto here quickly. That appears to have come undone. Some of these will ping off because of the amount of time it's taking to stick them down and then move on to the next one. So there is going to be some time spent on gluing those down. Okay, so the next piece is going to be this, and all I am going to do is go ahead and glue this down. And then what I need to do is bring in my other piece. Before I can glue this down, I need to bring in this second piece so I can attach the hinge. I'm just thinking it might be a good idea also, actually, before I do that, for me to go ahead and attach my panels, because this can also take some time to glue down. So let me do that now. So all my panels are stuck down, and this is a lengthy process because curving mirror card and then putting card on top, patterned cardstock on top, you have to be very patient. So I am now going to, at this point, bring in this piece here, and I need to line these up like so. Okay, and then I'm going to apply glue to this piece here. I'm going to line that up because we need to join those two parts of the bag together. And here I do need to again be patient with my glue. Oh, doesn't that look gorgeous? Hopefully that's grabbed now. Just going to gently go in and press that down with my hand. You also need to, at this point, bring in these two pieces here. Now, the best thing to do is line that up against the back of this piece here. Put that down. I'm going to put glue on the back of my magnet, because that will give me a clear indication of where that needs to go. There we go. And then I'm just gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna apply glue all the way around it, like so. And then I'm gonna take another one, place that over the top. Make sure it lines up. And I'm just going to go ahead and press all that down. I'm just going around and just pressing them together. And that will just kind of secure the magnet in. And I'm using a magnet from my own stash. This isn't a Tonic one, but you could use a Tonic one. I think the Tonic one might be just a slight bit bigger. But what you could do is there is a small circle die. You could potentially cut this into a few of these, stack them so you have a bit of a depth, and then place the magnet in. That's another way of doing it. So that's going to go on there. I'm just going to apply glue to this piece here, and then bring that in like so. And then I need to prise this apart. There we go. And then just place that on there. Just make sure that's glued down well. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I can go in and apply glue to the back of this piece here. And then I'm just going to place this over the top, starting from the bottom. Make sure, dear me, make sure I start from the bottom, do it this way around. And then I'm just going to slowly work my way around. Okay, and then so let me just bring in the handle. And the way I've done it, so obviously I've already done one side. I'm going to go ahead, and you're going to do all the pieces like this anyway. You're going to stick 3 pieces together to start with to form this shape here. And then you're going to, on the negative side, you're going to then apply 3 more. You're basically overlapping them like that. There's always something that I forget. And then you're just going to go round. And press that down. And then with the last one, you're going to apply glue to all of these. And then you're just going to go ahead and attach the last one like so. Just make sure it levels up, and there. So now what we need to do is I'm going to just line this up with this one here. I'm going to apply glue to that one there and that one there. Because we want our straps to be the same, you see. So we kind of have an idea of where that needs to go. And then you can go in and attach this. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply glue again to this. Okay, so that is our bag. Hopefully that will close, which it does. And then all that's left is for me to add my decoration piece, my patterned card, onto my mirror card. So let me just do that quickly. Just going to apply glue. And then we're just going to place this over the top. Like so. And there we have our gorgeous, 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 absolutely stunning, stunning little seashell bag. Obviously you can use mirror card, as I've done for this one. I've used glitter card, but again, obviously it does need a lot of patience, but I think I've been very patient with this one, and because I've been patient, it's turned out to be absolutely beautiful. So I think the only thing left then is to add on this piece here, which is the decorative element that just sits on that closure there, and that's it. Isn't that satisfying? So absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous bag. So thank you for your patience in watching this video. I hope you are able to create amazing, amazing gift boxes and bags. So these are all my makes. Technically speaking, there's only going to be 3. I was only doing 3 samples, but I've ended up making every single one of these. And like I said, if you have this bag, you can use this beveled star on here. It would look absolutely gorgeous. Can you imagine a bag like that? Oh, that does look nice. But don't worry, I'm not making another one. But again, 2 of these put together would make an amazing star. Like if you did 2 of these back to back, you put them together, it would make an amazing star to go on top of a Christmas tree. So I think all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell to receive notifications of future videos, and leave a comment. I always love reading comments. I do use affiliate links, and I have mentioned in my previous video, affiliate links, you do need to accept cookies in order for those affiliate links to work for me. So please, please, please do go ahead and accept those cookies and all the support. Every time you purchase something and use my links, I really do appreciate it. So thank you again so much, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.